Welcome everyone. Hope all is well. Trading's been good, right? That Aussie New Zealand played out like money. Aussie Swiss running. We'll go over these yen pairs. Go over a couple other potential setups. So let's get started. Risk disclaimer, read it over. And let's go. Alright, so we'll start off here on Aussie New Zealand, right? If you caught this trade, do me a favor. If you caught this trade, can you hit the thumbs up on the video? Because we drew this up money, right? We were looking for this 4-hour correction back here in weekly Forex forecast, just like over here. A 2-day, 3-wave correction. Yesterday on Daily Market Blitz, we said you could pull the trigger. In weekly Forex forecast, we went over all these 3-wave corrections, impulse down, 3-wave correction, impulse down, 3-wave correction, impulse down. And then we took this circle over here and we said we wanted a 3-wave correction and an impulse up. So, and yesterday we said pull the trigger on this 34, and you're looking for this thing to run up to 112. So we go to daily chart. We're looking for the Y wave. We're looking for this WXY on Aussie New Zealand. So do me a favor, if you caught this trade, hit thumbs up, because this trade played out nice, and we're looking for continuation on up to 112. All right, so you still got a lot of room to run in this thing. Buy pullbacks all the way, and we're still looking for this Y wave up right here for this WXY structure. And when we go to the weekly chart, you're in this weekly, right? You just fired off this weekly squeeze, and then now you have an oversold bullish setup on the weekly, and this thing could continue. So Aussie New Zealand's a real nice trade. I mean, Aussie Swiss was nice too. We've been pounding the table on this. We're getting a weekly setup in this. We wanted at minimum to come retest these highs on the weekly chart, and should have been in this thing too, right? So this thing's running good, and just put your chart on Hankanashi. Shut the trade down when you get a red daily Hankanashi below the 8, and this thing could come take out these highs and run all the way up to our quarterly R2 all the way up here. So just let this thing run, do its thing. Aussie CAD, you absolutely want buys in this pair. You absolutely want buys in Aussie CAD. This thing, we're looking for this thing to trend, and if we go to the 3-day chart, you're getting a 3-day bullish setup now. All right, your momentum's climbing, right? You're coming down on the 3-day chart. This thing's got a lot more room to run. I think Aussie CAD's coming after these highs, so this is a nice trade as well. I get it if you don't want all these Aussie pairs, but Aussie Swiss, Aussie New Zealand, they were nice trades. CAD yen, right? CAD yen is sitting up here at its 123.6. So I am in this from yesterday, and we were spotting this 1-hour divergence in between your 123.6 and your 100, right? So I am in this trade here, and I'll shut it down if we get a daily close above here, above 117.40. So, and we've been above this 4-hour for a while now. If we zoom into this thing, we've been above this 4-hour basically since the beginning of June. And it'll be surprising if we get through this level without at least pulling back to the 4-hour 34. So if we get a pullback to the 4-hour 34, I could put the 1-hour trade to break even, and that was the game plan. That was my thinking. If we close above this on the daily chart, if we close above 117.40 on the daily chart, I'll be shutting this entry down. Um, that is that. Swiss yen. Swiss yen on the daily chart. So we're absolutely looking for 1,000 point down move daily candle, right? We're looking for one of these candles. One of these candles is going to be coming where you just get one day and Swiss yen is down 1,000 points. And that's why we drew up this flat yesterday. So we saw this flat and I posted this in community tab. I did take a shot here and I put it to break even and that got stopped out. I also took another 5-minute trade over here because we were trending on the 15-minute chart and I took a 5-minute sell, put that to break even. That also got stopped out for break even. So it's something that I'm going to keep doing. Anytime I see our 15-minute starting a trend, I want to start taking sell setups and putting break even. So, because again, I am anticipating this 1,000 point down daily candle anytime now. So, and it could turn into much more than that. So, and this 100 up here is, if we step out here to the monthly chart, it's simply this low measured against this high. All right, so the low back from 2000 to this high to that low. That's the 100 that's coming into play now. 182.08. All right, so set an alert up here. Create an alert at or above. Set an alert up here at 182.80, 182.08. Again, we've been above this monthly 8 for going on almost 5 years. All right, we've closed above this monthly 8. I mean, here was your monthly trigger bar back here, and you've been above this monthly 8 since December of 2019. So you're coming up on almost 5 years above the monthly 8. And like I said, the Swiss National Bank has already had 2 surprise rate cuts, and the Bank of Japan is talking about intervention, right? And they are worried about future inflation coming into play in the fourth quarter of this year, possibly. And they're, if anything, they're not cutting, right? Bank of Japan is not cutting rates. And so I am looking for a big drop down to our monthly 34, which is why anytime I get these 15-minute sell setups or I see these clear patterns, these clear flat patterns, and right, our 89 was crossing our 200. We had our 89 and our 200 stacked, and then I was looking for this thing to hold and go, so it didn't. So that is the problem with trying to pick a top. You are going to take a lot of break-even trades because you're trading counter trend, trying to capture the completion of the uptrend. So that's that. So I'll continue to take them. I'll continue to post them. The goal is to take them and put them to break even once you break your most recent low. So that is that. That is CAD yen and that is Swiss yen. And Euro ZAR. All right, we'll go to daily chart. Or this is Euro USD. We'll go to daily chart on Euro ZAR. And we're in this thing from right here. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this trade down because we have a 4-hour setup and there's no point in leaving this risk on the table when I could just enter this thing in the 4-hour chart. And we have a potential flat right here. So I will simply leave an order here for right now. All right, if it takes me out, now my stop will go down here at this low. I might even take a bullish 4-hour close above the 8 right here. All right, so I might even consider that a 4-hour close above the 8. But either way, I'll be reducing my risk. I don't have to leave all this on the table, and I'm still looking for the same impulse up. It's just the 4 hours making a correction right now. And it looks like we could, on the daily chart, it's looking like we could come down to retest these lows one more time. So this 4 hour trade might not even set up, which is why if you put a stop here, if this is an ABC flat correction like Aussie New Zealand, it's going to take off. So, right, but if we just keep working our way down to the lows, I'll never get triggered. So that is that. NZD CAD is setting up very nicely. All right, this pair is setting up real nice. And we got a real nice 3-day trade on our hand. We're coming in to oversold, getting ready to run into our 34 on the 3-day chart. So our 3-day, right, is giving us a bullish setup. And this could be the first high or low after the break of structure. So we'll drop down to the daily chart, and all we're waiting on is basically a daily. Looking on the daily close above the 8, or we could take a daily doji, something like that, that closes on a green daily doji. We could take that. So we're just waiting right now. And if I put quarterly pivots on, you could see your weekly. I might take a shot on this tomorrow. If we close down here, it'll be worth taking a shot. That's your weekly S2 down there. So I like that. But let's change these to quarterly. All right. Now we're on quarterly, and it's also your quarterly pivot, and I do like this area to hold. So I like this area. We're coming into our quarterly pivot, and I'm looking for a bounce. So we're looking for a bounce, and we're looking to trend hard during the month of July. All right, we're just waiting on a signal on NZD CAD. And dollar CAD's ripping, right? We talked about this dollar CAD, how you wanted buys in dollar CAD, and you completed this little pattern down here. We went over this a number of times. You had this ABC, this long drawn out C wave. And if we come all the way back over here, it was the same exact pattern as this. All right. See this right here? But you got like a flat as your B wave. You have a move down, impulse up, and then we rip down to the 2618. And right now we're getting this. And we went over this in that dollar CAD video. And all you did was come down and tag the 123.6, and now you're ripping up. So that's the same thing we're doing over here. You're getting that 4-hour move now that we talked about. So and this thing could correct now and go back to the top of the channel, or is it going to stop right here and roll back over? So this is our next talking point. And from here, are we going to go, is it going to give us that sharp impulse down, or are we going to correct and go to the back to the top of this channel? So, but either way, you're in. So that is that. And if we do this, it's no worries, because then we're coming down to the area we talked about yesterday, right? Then you're coming down to your daily 200, which is that VWAP, and it's your monthly R1, and it's your quarterly midpoint. It's pattern completion, right? So, and this thing's going. This thing should go hard. So, I like this trade a lot. Dollar Swiss, right? You should also be in this one. Dollar Swiss is running nice. And we were buying this because, again, on the weekly chart, we were anticipating a weekly bullish candle because we got a weekly setup. We're holding our momentum, oversold, and, right, we want to see this thing close above the 8 now. So, should be in dollar Swiss as well. So, and we pointed all these out on weekly Forex forecast. Like I said, we're in from down here because we caught these first pullbacks. We caught these first 1 hour pullbacks the day after Swiss cut rates. So let this thing go. I think we're going back to parity. I think you still have another 1,000 pips in this move. So I think you do have 1,000 pips. You're getting a weekly setup. If we go to monthly chart, I think we're on our way up to the monthly 200. All right. We could be on our way up to the monthly 200. Obviously, it's not going to move in a straight line, but I do like this trade. I like this trade a lot. So that is that. Last pair we'll cover is the Australian dollar, because Aussie dollar is kind of interesting. If we go to Aussie dollar, right, and let me take all these let's just look at Aussie dollar real quick on the daily chart. And here's the high of that consolidation. All right, so we clear all these indicators off, and I think it is going to, right, if you don't want to buy Aussie against the dollar, it's understandable, because we're already in Aussie New Zealand, we're already in Aussie Swiss, we're in Aussie CAD, but Aussie dollar does kind of look bullish here. And if we take a look at this pattern on the 4-hour chart, you can see that you've had 3 waves down right here. All right, with a correction here in the middle. And then you have a 3-wave structure down. So we got kind of like a WXY right here. And after this correction, we get an impulse up that breaks structure. So this is our low of the structure so far. Right here's our low of the structure. And this could be complete. And it might be worth taking a 4-hour close. Let's just measure this. So we're worried about this piece right now. And you're coming into the 100 right now. This little piece, right? And there's a chance that you're building out some kind of a running flat right here. So it might be worth taking a buy right here. For that, and we're just building out a running flat right here. All right, because our correction is over, right? Our correction could be over. Now you're building out a running flat to go. So I do think taking a shot here on your next 4-hour close above the 8 is not a bad trade. We are stacked on the 4-hour chart, and I think if we get a bullish, you could even take a shot on the 100 with a stop below the 123.6. That's going to be below your 200. And if this is some kind of a, if we are making some kind of a running flat right here like this, then you're in it for this impulse, right? You're in it for this impulse up. So that is that. It is worth taking a shot. So, but I don't really see the dollar getting too weak. I mean, so, and like I said, if you're already in Aussie CAD, you're already in Aussie Swiss, you're already in Aussie New Zealand, you don't have to take this. But this does look bullish. The pattern looks bullish. We're stacked, and I could definitely see a move on up to, right, 67.29, and we're just making some kind of a running flat. Then we'll measure this, right? And then now you're going to come down to your 618 or your 100. Price stops at the 618 or the 100 for the flat, and then you're gone, right? So, and then you're gone. It does kind of look like we're making a running flat right here. And like I said, we are stacked on the 4-hour chart. We're stacked on the daily chart. So taking a shot on this next 4-hour, if you want to just buy it, like I said, you could also buy this 100. So because the B wave broke the high, so This wave right here broke the high here. We're coming down, and I think you could buy 66.33 with a stop at 66.20. So 13 pip stop for this risk, this RR right here. Here's your stop, and all this would be your RR. All right, so that is that. But if Aussie dollar does this, then you could bet Aussie New Zealand's flying, Aussie Swiss is flying, Aussie CAD's flying. So, but this ain't a bad looking trade right here on Aussie dollar. All right, that is all I got. Trading's been going good. Like I said, I'm watching that level on CAD yen. I'm looking for 15-minute trends to set up on Swiss yen. Um, we're waiting on a buy setup on New Zealand CAD. Aussie Swiss running nice. Aussie CAD should be taking off. Aussie Swiss is running. Dollar Swiss is running. So trades are going good. So do me a favor. If you're in any of them, hit thumbs up. Have a good one. See you.